The video content is solely intended to highlight the unfriendly situation in the second stage of university applications, and has no connection with any government or military units.
Welcome to The Explainer. So, you think academic perfection is the key to unlocking your dreams? Well, this story from Taiwan might just make you think again. We're diving into the pretty wild path to becoming a doctor over there. A path where a perfect score is really just a ticket to a very high-stakes gamble.
All right, let's just jump right in with a question that gets to the heart of any big dream. Is working your tail off really enough to get you there?
You know, wanting to be a doctor, it's this incredible, noble dream, right? Everyone celebrates it, society loves it, your teachers push you for it. But like a lot of noble dreams, this one runs smack into a very practical, very expensive wall.
And yep, you guessed it. That wall is money. Medical school tuition is a massive financial hurdle, especially if you're from a family that doesn't have a ton of cash. It can make that dream feel totally out of reach, no matter how smart you are. But thankfully, there's supposed to be a more affordable way.
And that's where public medical schools come in. There's supposed to be that glimmer of hope, right? The path where your grades, your hard work, your sheer brilliance, that's the only thing that should matter. A path for the best and the brightest, no matter their background. At least, that's the idea.
But what if I told you that even a perfect score on the huge national entrance exam doesn't actually guarantee you a spot? What if being flawless on paper still isn't enough? This is where reality gets a little harsh.
See, this is where the system has this, let's call it a thoughtful way of managing your options for you. Just a little quirk in the schedule that ends up having massive consequences. So here's the quirk. Take a look at the dates for the second stage interviews at the top 3 public medical schools: National Taiwan University, National Young Ming Chiao Tung University, and National Cheng Kung University. Notice anything? Yeah, they all schedule their interviews on the exact same day, May 16th. Which means, as the source material so perfectly puts it, even if you're omnipotent, you can only choose one. So your perfect score doesn't buy you options. It buys you a ticket to an impossible dilemma. You have to pick one, and only one, to even have a shot at. So after you've been forced to pick your one and only horse in this race, your perfect score doesn't even guarantee you'll win. Oh no, it just buys you a lottery ticket for a ridiculously high-stakes game of chance. Let's break down these odds, shall we? Say you aim for the top dog, NTU. Even with that perfect score, your chances of passing the interview stage are just 50%. A simple coin flip decides your entire future. Decided to go for NYCU instead? Well, your odds just dropped even further, down to 40%. And if you put all your chips on NCKU, you're looking at a 1 in 3 shot. Years of perfect grades now boil down to a 33% chance. So let's be crystal clear about this. You have achieved academic perfection. You are the best of the best, and your absolute best-case scenario for getting into a public medical school is just 50%, a coin toss. That's what decides the fate of the nation's top students.
Now, how you feel about your entire future riding on a coin toss, well, that really depends on just one thing. How big is your financial safety net? This is where the story splits into 2 very, very different paths. And this just lays it all out, doesn't it? If you're from a wealthy family, this gamble is stressful for sure, but it's not the end of the world. If you lose the coin flip, you have a backup plan. You just go to an expensive private medical school. But for a lower income student, there is no backup plan. Losing this gamble is a total catastrophe. You literally cannot afford to lose. But hey, don't you worry. For all you brilliant students who simply cannot afford to gamble their future away, the system has provided a special, thoughtful, and oh so generous alternative just for you. Allow me to introduce the National Defense Medical Center. Just look at these perks: free tuition, a monthly stipend to live on, a guaranteed path to becoming a doctor. I mean, it sounds like the perfect solution, custom made for the student without deep pockets. There's just one tiny little condition. And here is the final brilliant catch. It's all about the timing. You are forced to accept or reject the Defense Medical Center's offer before the other schools even hold their interviews. The moment you accept this supposedly risk-free path, you automatically give up your spot at the gambler's table. You have to walk away from your 50% shot before you even get to flip the coin. It's just a very thoughtful way to help you avoid the stress of having too many choices, right? The system neatly sorts everybody.
The wealthy get to take the risk because they can afford the fallout. The less wealthy are helped into a different path, taking them out of the competition entirely so they don't have to risk a thing.
So what does this all mean? What's the final outcome for that brilliant student from a humble background who aced every single exam? Well, let's just say their choice has been very carefully arranged for them.
Look, you weren't without a choice. Of course not. It's just that your hard work didn't earn you a seat at the big table with everyone else. It earned you a pre-selected path conveniently set aside just for you.
And this brings us to the final stark message of this entire setup. For the brilliant students who can't afford the gamble, the system has a clear and welcoming response. The armed forces welcome you.